The psychic being, what it is. The psychic being is an important concept in Sri Aurobindo's philosophy and yoga, but it's not well known or described in traditional Indian philosophy and yoga. And we could even say that it is one of the most important concepts in Sri Aurobindo's yoga, because realization of the psychic being and the resulting transformation of our human nature under its influence is the first major object and aim that we must achieve. And because of the difficulty of the achievement, it may take up much of our life. The mother says that normally it takes 30 years to realize the psychic being, even under rapid progress in a concentrated yogic practice. As a rough working definition, we can say that it is our soul personality, a formation of being organized around our soul, the soul being the divine core of our being. And we can add that this divine part of our being is hidden from us and covered over by other layers of our being, and most notably the outer mind, vital and emotions, and the physical, with their various tendencies and activities, and by the ego, which is a kind of temporary shifting identification we have with certain mental experiences. So the first aim of yoga is to penetrate through these external layers of our being and become aware of the psychic being, and then to bring out its influences into the outer nature, into the mind and life and emotions and the body. But I would like to go a little bit deeper into what the psychic being is by relating it to the divine. We say it is the divine element or divine core of our being, but what do we mean by the divine? And in what sense do we have something divine within us? In Sri Aurobindo's philosophy, we can say, well, when we say the divine, we mean the absolute reality, the supreme being, the one and sole existence. In Sanskrit terms, it is referred to as Brahman and as Satchidananda, which can be translated as infinite existence, infinite consciousness, and infinite bliss, all rolled up into one. In fact, the divine is beyond definition, beyond all limitation, and yet all limitations can be said to be aspects or frontal appearances of it. Impersonal, infinite existence is one of its faces, but the one personal divine being is another of its faces. And yet it is beyond both of these and indefinable. The entire universe is another of its faces, not only our physical universe, but including the occult dimensions of existence, the worlds of thought and imagination, the worlds of our dreams and desires, the worlds of the gods and demons. And within this multi-dimensional universe, each world, each individual existence and being is another face of the divine. All exist in the infinity of the divine, and the divine is in all as their true self, and all is the divine. There is nothing else. And put another way, in philosophical terms, we say the divine is transcendent, universal, and individual. And when we speak of the psychic being, we refer especially to that individual aspect of the divine. That divine reality of our own individual human existence here in this physical world. And as we said in our working definition, we have this divine element of our being, but it is hidden from our awareness by layers of mental, emotional, and physical tendencies and activities organized around the ego. And that ego being a mental formation of ourselves that we identify with. And the reason it is covered over like this is that our planet Earth is an evolving world in which the divine is at first hidden in the motion of material energy and emerges gradually in simple and later complex forms of life, evolves into animals and human beings, and eventually will emerge in a full conscious unity with its greater being, while yet embodied here on earth. And through this long evolution, through successive forms, the soul is the divine support within the individual that persists through the life and death of these forms and carries the gains of their experience to its future births. Its individual divine formation grows in the course of the evolution, and at the human stage becomes a growing divine person and personality, still hidden from the outer mind and life and body of the person, but exerting a growing influence on the surface consciousness, and gradually orienting it to the divine. That is the psychic being we aim to become conscious of and to bring out fully in our life and action.